Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. This is the Traffic and Safety Commission. It is November 7th. It is 8:04, and we're going to have a roll call.
Commissioner Kubertson, I'm sorry.
Yes, here.
Commissioner McMurray.
Here.
Commissioner Timmerman.
Which one?
I'm sorry, Carl Timmerman.
Here.
Sorry. Commissioner Karen Timmerman.
Here.
Commissioner Flaskamp.
Here.
Commissioner Wagner.
Here.
And Chairman Pincos.
Here. Okay. Is there any amendments to our agenda tonight? Yes, Bob.
I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda, and I'm going to call it the operation of the commission. I'd like to talk about our budget. I'd like to talk about membership, and I'd like to talk about the comprehensive plan, participation in a do-it-yourself workshop. Okay. This is something, an email I had sent and I never really got an answer to. So I don't know if you want to lump those all together as operation of the commission, but I'd like to talk about those three things.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll put that under new business then.
Okay. And I guess if there's a second for that.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say yay.
Aye.
Ayes. Aye. Aye. Any nays? Okay, we move on. Public comments on agenda items, and we have no public participation in the audience. Therefore, we'll move right on to public comments on non-agenda items. Again, nobody is in the audience. Presentations, report of bike, pedestrians, and transit subcommittee. Bob?
Yes, thank you. I'll try and be very brief since we've had, we met in July, August, September, and our last meeting was October 26th. Some things that we talked, our last meeting was October 26th. We did talk about the rail grade separation feasibility study, and there were some questions about how that is moving along, and if there will be other stakeholder meetings. The subcommittee participated in the Brewfest. We ran a bike valet. We've done that for the last couple of years. Unfortunately, not a lot of people rode their bikes this year. So we're considering whether we want to do that again. We did talk about the bicycle-friendly community application with the assistance of staff. We did submit a bicycle-friendly community application. We won't know the outcome of that application if the village will be recognized for bronze, whatever, platinum, gold, or just an honorary mention like last year. But as part of the application, there's a survey that can be sent out, and we try to publicize it, and we got 47 responses. So that we thought that was pretty good. So they're going to let us know about that, what the responses were to the survey. We talked about the comprehensive plan, and the question came up, whether the bike pedestrian transit subcommittee would like to partner with the Traffic and Safety Commission on a community workshop do-it-yourself thing. We did, our commission did it on a Saturday morning at the library, and it took about an hour and 15 minutes. So I guess I would pose that question. We talked about our PACE bus route 313. We did get access to it. It's called the Regional Transportation Authority Mapping and Statistics. And you can go online and you can see the ridership statistics for Route 313. And it's rebounded from COVID, but it's not great. It's not. It has not reached the ridership that it had before COVID. It's kind of lackluster. Let's see what else. We're trying to do a bike walk to school day. We want to partner with North School. We asked some questions about the Ville Avenue Improvement Project, how that's going. I understand there's going to be another public input meeting on that, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. We noticed that the construction on the Tri-Trail connector was underway. And we did talk about the DuPage Trails plan. A draft copy of the Trails plan is out for comment, and you can find it online. It's pretty interesting. We did have this is a couple of months back, Sidney Kenyon, who's I'm going to call him the trail coordinator for the village, for DuPage County, who actually lives in Villa Park, right on Ardmore. He came and made a short presentation to us a couple of months ago. And one thing I mentioned to Kevin Mantles was that I found there's an app called Strava, Strava, and runners and bicyclists use it, but they have a special programmer. It's called Strava Metro, and it kind of takes all the users, and it kind of will give you some data as to like how many bicyclists are on your trail, or how many runners you have. And I did send that to, I had some trouble finding it, but I did send it to Kevin. Planners and municipal officials can get access to it. I tried to get access to it, but they denied me. I don't think I have enough clout, or maybe I don't have a title. So, but I sent it to Kevin. Maybe he could access it. I think it would be valuable when doing like a bicycle-friendly community application. You can say, okay, we have this many riders on our trails, et cetera. These many pedestrians, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions, commissioners? Nope, we're good. We're going to move on to a presentation by Railroad Grade Separation Feasibility Study Update.
You want me to, if you don't mind, I can.
We're going to have like a PowerPoint? Possibly.
Yes. I think there was some discussion in September with the committee as a whole about the presentation on the grade separation update and finalization. I think there was some recommendation to bring it before this committee to kind of keep you guys informed as well. So I do have the presentation that was presented if you weren't at the meeting or have seen the meeting. I just did not invite CDM Smith just to kind of save on some cost.
No problem.
I know most of the material, so I should be able to answer all questions.
Thank you. Dim a light. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just for some of you that maybe do not know, the grade separation feasibility study was a project that we took upon this year to look at possible railroad grade separation with vehicle and pedestrian. We looked at several locations throughout the community, the main crossings. And I think, as we alluded to it earlier, we did have some stakeholder meetings. We met with some key stakeholders in the community. I believe Chairman Pecos attended. I believe Trustee Wagner as part of the bike pedestrian subcommittee, and another bike pedestrian subcommittee commissioner,
Amori.
Joe Amori, attended, along with other department heads throughout the village, police chief, fire chief, city manager, some of the key stakeholders with it. So that the study overview was, the intent was to assess the nature and the demand of users within the limits and identify if there's any feasible means to create a grade separation, both for motorized and non-motorized in the village. I think it's a long-standing kind of goal or topic with Villa Park. However, we never really conducted any in-depth studies at all to see what it would actually take to achieve that. That was the intent of the study. So this has been the schedule. We started, I think we started in late January, early February. where CDM Smith was hired as the consultant. They did do the studies both in Elmhurst for their grade separation and new train station that development that they have going on over there, which is, I believe, nearing 40 million, if I remember my numbers right, for them. And then they've also done the one for Glen Ellen, which is currently underway with some improvements to their location along with grade separation. So they were very familiar with the UP Railroad and what it takes for this region and this location, as they have two neighboring stations under their purview. So where they're at in September was they've kind of refined a bunch of concepts and reviewed, and they are now finalizing it into an actual draft study that we just received. The existing conditions, we looked at 4 major locations, the 4 major crossings in the community. We looked at Villa Avenue and the grade separation, and this is, I should probably preface this is all for the UP crossing, not the CN. The CN is the northernmost railroad line in the community, and UP is the one that's a little bit southern. So we looked at that location throughout the community, as that's the most problematic railroad crossings within the village. So we looked at the major crossings for vehicle. We looked at Villa Avenue, which has an ADT of, it's a minor arterial, has an ADT of like about 6,200 or 4,750, kind of depending on which. We looked at the crossing at Ardmore, the crossing at Addison, and then we also included a crossing at Westmore
ordinance to present to the village board to think about? That's my one question, right now. Comments?
I think, basically seeing as I've dealt with handicap for a while, due to my mom's situation, most people in this town, or most residences in this town, have enough driveway or in the apartment places where they have specific places to park for handicap parking. It's not something that we should really consider right now, and I don't think that in the future this town will be getting rid of those particular areas at any time soon, if ever.
Okay. Jack?
Actually, being Kevin has a lot more information on this, I honestly believe we should probably table this so we can have his input when he's at the next meeting. I do see your point of we need to open this up in case, for this, because there's probably many others in town that need something like this. I do see that one application, as Bob was mentioning, the topographic, the sidewalk's higher, I think is probably 6 or 7 inches higher than the street. If you had to do anything, like you said, if snow, or if we had to have some kind of a gate, what do you call that, a gateway? To make that accessibility, you'd have to change the topographic of the whole area in order to meet accessibility. And this, you're gonna turn this into a major overhaul of, because it's a short distance, it's only what, about 2 foot from the, or 3 foot from the curb?
Three
to that
and a
side.
half feet, yeah.
Right, but that was like 6 or 7 inches, the sidewalk's like 6 or 7 inches higher. So we couldn't approach that without making that accessibility, and that would be a major project.
non-ADA compliant.
Right, we need, I think we need Kevin to be involved in this, to have his input, and I think we should probably motion to table this on, when Kevin's here, so we could have his input into this.
Yes, Bob?
Well, my comment is, you asked if we should create an ordinance. I mean, this is the first request that we've had that I'm aware of, and I've been liaison commissioner for a few years now, and I haven't seen any. So based upon that, I would say, no, we shouldn't create an ordinance. And secondly, I don't think that she's made that her case for her request is not, it's not well-founded, in my opinion.
Well, that would be the second point in reference to that, but,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I don't have any objection to tabling it, but those are my, based upon what you asked, that's.
Carl?
Going along with what you're saying, about should we consider this, not particularly this case. I agree with you on that to some extent, but I mean, this is the one that we have to have an answer for at this point. And I agree with Jack about tabling this until we get a little more information from Kevin. That is, are you sure he does have something he wants to?
I just kind of what I'm gathering from here, he's the one who was putting this information together.
He's the one that, in here is the package from the City of Chicago.
Right,
If
he
you
had
read
that
through
at
it,
that July meeting.
and there is quite a bit of information that we could build off of and add to and subtract from, et cetera, et cetera. So here's what I'm gonna say right now. So the meeting's getting a little bit late and we're just gonna be sitting here talking. I'm thinking we need to table this until our next meeting when Kevin is here and find out what he has found out and what he might have looked into in reference to that ordinance for handicap that we have now, because I know there is something out there in reference to commercial areas.
Correct. Yeah, per our code, we do have designated handicap parking spots, but they're all correlated to what's deemed metered or striped locations, and they're all in the commercial corridors. So your Central, Kenilworth, or not Kenilworth, I'm sorry, Villa. We have Ardmore Central and Park. So no, my Villa's not on there.
So, yes, Vicki?
Just one last question. I mean, we've been talking about this since May. Granted, we haven't had meetings all the way along, but I believe if Kevin, I mean, if he would have found more information, we would have had it in our packets. This is what he's found to date and so forth, and I just think if we would have had more information, he would have included it in the packets for us to reference while we're here at the meeting. And again, we've been talking about this since, I think, June, July. So we've had quite a bit of time for everyone to look for and see if they can find any additional information regarding this. So it's been on our agenda and we keep tabling it. But there's really not a lot of new information that we've all been finding. So I'm okay with tabling it for one more month to get with Kevin, but I think, as we keep trying to push it to find more information, but we don't find anything. So it's been challenging,
So the question is not in reference to the resident that asked for it, are you saying that you're in favor of not pursuing
Correct.
some type of, okay. That's fine. I'm kind of in favor of tabling this for one more month. When Kevin comes back, have further information about it. If anybody else comes up with further information, come up with it, and then we'll totally address it at that point there. So at our December meeting, we planning on coming up with it, and then we'll also officially answer the resident in reference to her request. So we'll just leave it as that. It is interesting. Please read through the information from the city. They got it pretty well stated. I just don't know what all the section codes and everything else is, but that's the city. So, but we'll go from that point there.
It's page 14 out of 18.
So, all right. Moving on to new business. At the moment, do you want to bring up your discussion about organization?
Sure, yeah. So just a few things, as I mentioned. The first thing is the commission budget. So the last month, the village manager's office sent out an email to commissioners, to commission chairs.
Yes.
Asking about the budget. And that kind of made me curious as to what our budget was, meaning the Traffic and Safety Commission. So I contacted Director Howard, and our budget is $2,200.
Yes.
And according to Director Howard, there is no spending for our commission. So that made me think about kind of some of the challenges that we have. And I know that Kevin is very busy with his main duties. I know that Public Works is very busy. And we used to have two staff members. We used to have Amy Raffel and Kevin, and Amy would do the minutes. And I'm wondering if it would be possible, because sometimes we don't get minutes, and I'm not faulting Kevin at all. I know he's really busy, so that we get minutes on a timely basis. If we're not spending $2,200, why can't we get a staff person to come to our meetings to take minutes? And that would relieve Kevin of that responsibility.
I cannot answer that question at the moment properly. I have some information, but I don't know if it's totally correct, so I don't want to say it at the moment.
Okay.
But you are correct. I thought we had $1,700 in the budget, but
I can forward you Director Howard's email.
I'm just saying that's what I remember they sent over, and I said $1,700 looked all right to me, because we haven't spent anything lately. So, and I thought that we could leave it as that for right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't think we needed to increase it. But
Okay.
if it's up to $2,200, that's fantastic too. So we do know we have that information in front of us. The situation of the cost that is involved with this being put on our village TV station is picked up by the village in reference to it. It does not go through our commission. It was elected by the village board to have us on this. So
Right, I know.
that's where we stand in reference to the budget on that.
Are we
So-
being charged for ours, comes out of our budget for our time on the TV station?
No,
No, okay.
no.
Would we be, hey, excuse me, one more thing. Hey, Bob, if you're going to send that to Jay about the email about the budget, could you forward that to all of us so that we have
Absolutely.
kind of a
Of
paper
course.
trail so
Sure.
it's common knowledge? Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to ask you to send it to Kevin so that Kevin can send it out. That's the process that was asked about the last time we were involved with sending it out amongst us. So,
So if you're talking about, I'm happy to do that, but it's not a violation of the Open Meetings Act to do that, as long as there's no discussion of it. There's, you can share information, but it's not a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
we did it one time and we got our hands slapped, so
Okay?
that's why we're gonna end up doing it that way at the moment. So, and then I will get another verification to see if that's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you violate the Open Meetings Act when you discuss something online or.
Just that they didn't like it when we did it the one time, and I didn't think it was a big problem, and evidently it was. And this was several years ago. So,
Okay.
anything else?
Yeah, the other thing is membership. And I looked at the ordinance, and our ordinance says that we're supposed to have 9 commissioners.
That's correct.
So, and then the other part of the ordinance that was interesting was, and I'll just read it, this is section 2-2203, if any member of the commission shall cease to maintain the status of qualifying him for, oops, I'm reading the wrong section. This is a section that has to do with unexcused absences and missing meetings. So, do we keep track of unexcused absences?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do, okay.
Okay.
Because I posed a question, I posed an email, which was never answered, because we were supposed to have a meeting, and then it was canceled at the last minute.
It was canceled at the last minute because, unfortunately, one person got sick,
Okay,
and the other person was held up at his work. So,
Yeah, I would consider sickness an excuse absence, and, you know, if you have a work issue, but if you're missing meetings just without an app, without contact anyone, that certainly is.
that was the situation with our last minute cancellation. And
And the other question I have about this is, what are we doing to recruit more commissioners?
I have not been able to get an answer yet, but last time I asked about recruiting, it was all handled through the president that looks at applications that come in for the different commissions, and then he goes through and, you know, goes on and,
Yeah, so that's not recruitment, that's just accepting commission, you know, so,
I mean, if you got somebody that you would like to,
of course, yeah, of course, sure.
Okay.
If I have someone, I'll certainly have them fill out an application.
and then let us know, and then we'll push it on to the president and the board for their review, and then go from there. And that goes along with everybody else.
So the other thing I want to ask about is, and I posed this in an email, and I never got an answer. So the Bike, Pedestrian, and Transit the Environmental Concerns Commission did this do-it-yourself kit, part of the comprehensive plan, and it was my understanding that Mark McLaughlin sent it to all the commissions and encouraged them to participate in the process. And so the ECC did it. We did it on a Saturday morning. It took about an hour and 15 minutes. But the Bike, Pedestrian, and Transit Subcommittee wanted to do one separately, and they thought it would be great to partner with Traffic and Safety. And once again, I posted in an email about this. I never got a response, except to say that you hadn't heard, or someone had not heard about it.
I have not heard about it. I
Right.
did ask Kevin to look into it. He has asked I guess the manager's
Okay.
office. I'd have to double check. I've asked him a couple of times. He says he's asked and has not got any information back. And my understanding was it was supposed to be all done by the 1st of November. And, but we never received, I never received anything from the village manager's office or anybody else in the village in reference to this.
Yeah.
And Kevin was not aware of anything about this, and he did not, he did look into it and had posed questions to the manager's office, I believe, or somebody, and ended up, had not got any responses back from him. And I remember talking to him about it just a week or so before our last, let's see, so that, this is November, the October meeting, and see if he heard anything back, and he did not hear anything back from the village.
So Mark McLaughlin is, I think, is a direct contact with Housel Levine, who's the firm that's handling this. And I did send an email, when I sent him our responses last month, he said, well, you could do this up until the early part of 2024.
Okay, well, I will ask, how come our commission is not on the listing in reference to officially from the village board?
Because I think I sent my email about this a couple months ago.
Yes,
so-
you did.
Yeah.
And we did ask, and we haven't gotten an official answer back. So, but I originally never received anything
Okay.
from it.
And then my last question has to do with traffic and safety at invillapark.com. Have we gotten any emails to that email address?
I cannot answer that. When we do, it's usually passed on to me and
Okay.
Kevin,
Okay, because someone has to have access to that email account.
and I believe it is the village manager's office or somebody downstairs. I don't know who it is officially.
Right.
But when Amy was here, they informed her of anything that came through.
So there is an environmental concerns at invillapark.com, and I have access to it. I think Brian Sawyer could give you access as well. just, check it occasionally to see if there's any complaints or inquiries coming for residences to that email address.
Okay, I can look into it. Like I said, again, I want to say the previous months, or years, it's always been forwarded as an email to us, to Kevin and myself in reference to it, so. that's all.
Okay, and that's all I got.
Okay. Any other comments from anybody? Nope. Okay, last thing on the list here for new business, it was brought up to us in reference to appointing a new chairperson for the commission. We, every 2 years, according to the bylaws of this commission, is to elect a new commissioner for a new term in reference to it.
The chairperson.
New chairperson. And so basically, I am going to open that up right now and ask if there's anybody that would like to, we'll say, I guess the word would be run for the chairperson. You would like to, Bob?
No, I'd like to nominate Vicky Flaskamp.
Okay. All right. Are you going to accept that?
Unfortunately, at this time, I'm humbled and honored by the recommendation, by the nomination, but unfortunately, I will not be able to do it this time.
Okay.
So thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to? And I am more than willing to continue in reference to this position, if that's also acceptable, if we have nobody else that would like to be the chairperson of this commission.
Oh, I nominate Jay.
So,
Second.
all right, so, if, Ed, any comments?
I got nothing.
Okay. Jack?
Nothing.
All right, so, put it out to you guys, if you want me to continue to be the chairperson, just say, how many, well, we should have a count, I guess is what we should do. If we should do this right, correct?
A roll call vote, you mean?
Roll call.
Roll call vote, yes.
Yes.
So, you can just go down the line.
Yes, so the motion is to appoint,
Well, we made the motions then, right?
Right.
appoint Jay as, sorry, Pincos as chairman. Is there a term? I'm unfamiliar.
Commission chair.
Commission chair. Yeah.
Commissioner Kubertson,
Yes.
Commissioner McMurray,
Yes.
Commissioner Carl Timmerman,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen Timmerman,
Yes.
Commissioner Flaskamp,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
I vote present.
Okay. So it looks like that I will continue on for another 2 years. And we'll move forward with that, and we'll pass that on to the village manager. Okay, commissioners' comments. We'll start from my right, so Ed, you're first up.
I got nothing.
Carl?
As you all know, next month is pretty busy for us. I will do my best to be here, especially since we've tabled that other issue. I would like to be here for that, so I'll do what I can.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Karen?
No comments.
Jack?
No comment.
Vicki?
Well, since it is November, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And the next time we will meet, it will be after the first Saturday in December, so hopefully everybody will be able to make it to Joyful Traditions again this year. So looking forward to that in the village. And same as Carl, I may not have the opportunity to make next month's meeting due to a work obligation for teaching that night. We have final projects that night, so I will do my best to get through those and get here as soon as I can, otherwise I may not be able to be here.
Okay,
Just giving you a heads up.
thank you.
Thank you.
Pat?
I did get an email from a resident who lives at Ardmore and Washington, and I forwarded that to you and to Kevin. I never got a response to that. And since we have Sergeant Landa here, maybe he might be able to give us some information. His comment was that he noticed a lot of violations of people violating the stop sign, motorcycles, et cetera. And I encouraged him to send an email, since I didn't get a response. I encouraged him to send an email to trafficandsafety@invillapark.com. And maybe Sergeant Landa could, are we having any increased problems specifically at that intersection at Ardmore and Washington that you're aware of? Okay.
Bob, does he speak to which direction, or is it both directions, or?
He didn't specify, he just said it just was some egregious violations of the stop sign, people just blowing through the stop sign.
Usually we might ask the police to have an increased presence in the area.
I didn't hear what you said.
I say usually our standard usually is to go with if the police have the opportunity to increase their presence in the area. they
Right,
do.
exactly.
And usually that's
I
the best.
did forward the email. I forwarded the email to Jay and to Kevin.
Did they say if it was at a specific time during the day it mostly happens?
He did not say, he didn't say.
Just wondering if it's maybe like, especially when school gets out.
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, he said a lot had to do with motorcyclists. I haven't, I mean, I see
do
a lot of,
remember that email that you sent.
what's that?
I do remember, it was at the meeting before that we were supposed to have?
It was a while back.
Yeah, I think it was, that's, and I made a note of that, and I've totally forgot about it since then, because I was going to bring it up. You sent it a couple days before our meeting, and
I
was gonna
did.
bring
I sent it a
yeah.
few minutes, before the meeting. Yep.
Yeah, and I was going to bring it up at the meeting, and I totally forgot about it the second time through in reference to it, but I was looking at it. But basically, the way we could address that is if we could possibly have, if the police department's available to kind of watch that corner for a while to see what's really actually happening there,
Yeah, we usually need a time of day.
time of day.
I'll reach out to him. Maybe I'll have him send it to you, his email to contact you.
Okay,
It's probably the best way to go.
all right. Thank you for that. And then, so that covers that. All I have to say is, yes, it's November, and basically, I hope everybody has a wonderful family time event for Thanksgiving and with loved ones and everybody. I hope everything goes well. Again, that hopefully we can all be at this next meeting coming up, and so we can address this handicapped parking situation in reference to it, and also get an answer back to the one resident. Michael, do you have anything, any comments that Kevin might have?
Not from kind of I knew of. I know we're wrapping up several projects, so we will be getting some striping down here in the next few days to wrap that up. And then thank you for letting me present on the great topic tonight.
Thank you very much on that, too. Thank you.
I do have a question about the tri-trail connector. When, so construction's underway. We're getting close to the snow flying. Do they anticipate getting it done before the end of the year?
No, the project will not be completed until
Okay.
probably April. Their intent, I believe, we have our progress meeting coming up, is to get the portion up to maybe Villa completed yet this year.
Okay.
It continues on.
Right.
but With the other projects, it's not worthwhile to hit that side until next spring.
Gotcha.
Okay, with that, we
Make a
then,
motion to adjourn?
a motion to adjourn. So Carl did the motion,
Second.
and All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any nays? No. So we are now ending this meeting at 9:43. Thank you, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too, Jim.